is, how can we work with the New Earth grid, the grid?
You must understand that the Earth grid was placed upon your lands in a time many thousands of years in your past. And if you begin to understand that the grid now is mostly metaphorical, not literal in meaning, you do not need to reconnect with the symbologies of the dead pyramids that hold energy no more. You do not need to travel to do so. There are beings placed upon these lands that are doing so, and these are their callings. And we, the angelics, are working within these beings to assure that that happens. But the primary system is within the kingdoms of consciousness, within your bodies, within your essence. It's carried within your very DNA, and the awakening begins there, at least from the physiological perspective. You will notice it is becoming more difficult. All of the workers of the light and all of the workers of the shadow are finding exceedingly difficult times. Be patient with yourselves. Be tolerant with others. Do not assume that you know what this will look like. And please, no matter what you do not assume that this will be the death of body. This is not quite the way that it always happens. And the word of light is that it happens distinctly differently for each of you. Some will choose to pass body and some will not. And it is always your choice. At least from this perspective of the will that was created before time even existed. Ego itself cannot have choice. It is playing the role of the chooser, and it has not made one single choice for spirit ever, because it doesn't exist. And what doesn't exist cannot choose for you, correct?
That's correct. Thank you. This question, what does Ascension look like in this shift, and how is it different from other times of Ascension on Earth?
In this collective dreaming of what you have dreamt as Ascension, you have decided in your collective consciousness for a unified field to be a representing factor of the kingdoms of light within your very DNA. You are shifting. The DNA is shifting in ways that are unrecognizable. This channel attends to various medical personnel who will soon look at DNA and say, what is that? But there is nothing to be alarmed. There's no reason that the doctors cannot understand what's happening in the bodies. And even at times that you cannot understand what's happening within your mind. This particular collective dreaming of what you have defined as Ascension is essentially a return to the pillars of light that structure within the 13 kingdoms. They are of light. They connect with the principle of sound or frequency.
Thank you.
These are the deepest mysteries, and I cannot teach you it through words. I can only emanate it through the mind and bodies, but preferably just the bodies, not mind, of channels and healers such as yourself, dear Courtney. But I cannot teach it to any of you observing today. I can only emanate.
We are grateful for the emanation. Thank you. You spoke about universal laws. How will universal laws be different? And how can we prepare for the changes in Earth and in culture?
Let's begin by all of the minor universal laws that incorporate particularly into what you have defined as the universal law of attraction. The universal law of resonance will be first and foremost what is honored and observed upon this planet throughout this time notion of, say, 2020 throughout 2022, and fully transpired into a different effect of universal law and conscious law, probably in your 2028 time frame, if all goes according to your collective dreaming. And of course, the collective dreaming shifts often, which means you may have to return to ask often if your minds are insatiable with questions.
Thank you. A moment. This is a question from Patreon. How does sacred, wait, I just lost it. 1 second. I apologize. This person wants to know if Pamela is able to draw what the grid would visually look like.
It is and will and has always appeared to be what you call the ancient hermetic tree of life, which she has drawn many times.
Thank you. This person is wondering, how does sacred geometry currently serve the collective?
It isn't a matter of service or lack thereof. It is a matter of belief. When you choose to believe that you must use something outside of yourselves to realize the light that you are, you choose and then powerfully create various systems for such tools. And because you collectively have chosen various belief systems of unworthiness, of course you would call them sacred and perhaps begin to believe they are more sacred. But when you observe light, you begin to observe that you also are that. You begin to, within the wisdom of the Spirit, hear the gentle word or sound, if you will, of Source. And again, all of the universal projections are shifting as well within the law of this universe. But the natural law of your land cannot be shifted, or life will not be supported. What you call sacred shape in tool, in modality, supports a return to the natural laws of land and water and element systems that have been long forgotten. It returns you to the ancient cosmic ways of those ancient elders.
Thank you. This person asks, when the old ice is melting on Earth, I believe information goes into the seas, rivers, and land. If so, how will it affect the grids?
The grids are no longer upon the lands, you see. The grids are in the bodies, beginning in the DNA and in the genome itself. And it represents, in the various ways, And you have created various projections of wheels of light and colors and other beautiful modes of recollection. It's not the land that needs to change. It's you.
Thank you. This person is asking, can you talk more about how our DNA is changing or going away, and how this will affect our physical bodies and conscious gifts or abilities?
The gifts that will arise from the shifting of the atom throughout the shifting of the DNA and then expressed in the genome are not gifts that can presently be described because they are not of human nature. Even the gift of what you believe would be an external notion of seeing without will return to seeing within only. And if you, in the mind structures, are attached to seeing outside of yourselves or hearing outside of yourselves, that too will be stripped until you begin to understand. And this cannot be grasped or even understood with intellect. But when you begin to observe and then deeply realize that the gifts are not innate to body or sense, then we will be able to emanate a clear example. Some of the more clear examples relate to what you have been calling recently psychometry, or perhaps the gifts of smell becoming more extensive. Perhaps the gifts of transmutation, alchemists will understand that term. And the gifts of transmutation being that you can transmute with elements themselves. And that you are not looking to make something different now or better now. And you're not looking to obliterate a negative, painful, suffering, trauma-based experience into something that you would feel would be closer to God. Those principles are based upon unworthiness in modern times. This degree of alchemy was not effective for your elders. There are many shifts in the DNA that perhaps you would see 2, a 10 to 3, and 3, a 10 to 4, and 4, 10 to 5. Science will not be able to even keep up, much less understand. They will perhaps have to construct new microscopes. Perhaps if they, this year, begin to look down upon the lands and deep within the cells, instead of up into the stars, then some changes can occur, and you will notice the shifts that are already occurring.
Thank you.